Miracle Sessions. Thank you so much for joining in this class today. Miracle Sessions. So that means that it's really open what we're gonna do, and always just a couple of moments before, suddenly my eyes catching something. And one of the things that caught my eye was a beautiful lesson of A Course in Miracles, which is forgiveness offers everything I want. So we're going to read that. It has a lot of questions in it, but they pretty much answer themselves. So that's not a lot of effort on your part. So starting with this session, it's good to realize that we're slowing down, that we're relaxing, that we're taking time to have some space between our thoughts, and maybe not following up on the thoughts as we did a moment ago, but letting that just be, say, for what it is. So that is totally helpful to enter into quietness, stillness. And like if you want to hear your direct communication with God, it's not that you have to be still, but like you have to come into your stillness. And so what I mean with that is that you don't necessarily have to not do anything. No, you can enter into your stillness by just doing your regular activities too. But so now we take time to enter into stillness, to leave behind what was occupying us a moment ago. And breathing is always helpful to release some tension, to let go. And really like, yes, I can do this now. Finally, I have a moment, or maybe I just got up and I really want to take time for a good start of my day. Well, this would be your time. So relax, let go. Even what you were planning to do today, let it go for now. You don't need that. So there goes your concern. There goes your occupation. There goes your daily activities for a moment. No, you're just here. And the invitation is to become completely present here. In this place where you find yourself, where you sit, where you relax, where you start to expand your consciousness. So don't forget to breathe, like I said. That's always very important to allow also that as a space to come to you. It's like, yes. Yes. Opening up for light, for love, for opening up your heart center, sitting up straight, like, wow, that's fantastic. So that makes all the difference. Even though these little things that we do are just totally helpful too at the same time to relax deeply into your stillness. Or maybe stretch your arms for a moment or lift them up. Like, yes, space here. Oh, yes, that's so great. So this is really time for yourself to relax, to continue your relationship with yourself, to continue with that. Like, I'm happy that I'm doing it. I just forgot to do that. Oh, here I am. That's so great. So this simplicity is really helpful. I don't even have to do this. I don't have to do that. Like, let it all go. So there's an incredible simplicity connected to it. And so we will read later on, we will read a bit about that too in the Borderland. But first we are going to even slow deeper down into using the lesson, which is a beautiful, real forgiveness lesson. So I'm going to pick that up now, and you can keep relaxing. So this is lesson 122 from the Urtext. I'm reading this, 344, page 344. Forgiveness offers everything I want. So here are your questions. What could you want forgiveness cannot give? Do you want peace? Forgiveness offers it. Do you want happiness? A quiet mind, certainty of purpose, a sense of worth and beauty that transcends the world? Do you want care and safety and the warmth of sure protection always? Do you want a quietness that cannot be disturbed? A gentleness that can never be hurt? A deep, abiding comfort? And a rest so perfect it can never be upset? So, any objections so far? Does this sound too good to be true? No. Okay, so here's the answer then. All this forgiveness offers you, and more. It sparkles in your eyes as you awake, and gives you joy with which to meet the day. It soothes your forehead while you sleep, and rests upon your eyelids, so you see no dreams of fear and evil, malice and attack. And when you wake again, it offers you another day of happiness and peace. All this forgiveness offers you, and more. Forgiveness lets the veil be lifted up, which hides the face of Christ from those who look with unforgiving eyes upon the world. It lets you recognize the Son of God and clears your memory of all dead thoughts, so that remembrance of your Father can arise across the threshold of your mind. What would you want forgiveness cannot give? What gifts but these are worthy to be sought? What fancied value, trivial effect, or transient promise never to be kept can hold more hope than what forgiveness brings? Why would you seek an answer other than the answer that will answer everything? Here is the perfect answer, given to imperfect questions, meaningless requests, and half-hearted willingness to hear, and less than halfway diligence and partial trust. Here is the answer. Seek for it no more. You will not find one other instead. God's plan for salvation cannot change, nor can it fail. Be thankful it remains exactly as He planned it. Changelessly it stands before you like an open door with warmth and welcome, calling from beyond the doorway, bidding you to enter in and make yourself at home where you belong. Here is the answer. Would you stand outside while all of heaven waits for you within? Forgive and be forgiven. As you give, you will receive. There is no plan but this for the salvation of the Son of God. Let us rejoice today that this is so, for here we have an answer, clear and plain, beyond deceit, in its simplicity. All of the complexities the world has spun of fragile cobwebs disappear before the power and the majesty of this extremely simple statement of the truth. Here is the answer. Do not turn away in aimless wandering again. Accept salvation now. It is the gift of God and not the world. The world can give you no gifts of any value to a mind which has received what God has given as its own. God wills salvation be received today, and that the intricacies of your dreams no longer hide their nothingness from you. Open your eyes today and look upon a happy world of safety and of peace. Forgiveness is the means by which it comes to take the place of hell. In quietness it rises up to greet your open eyes and fill your heart with deep tranquility as ancient truths, forever newly born, arise in your awareness. What you will remember then can never be described, yet your forgiveness offers it to you. Remembering the gifts forgiveness gives, we undertake our practicing today with hope and faith that this will be the day salvation will be ours. Earnestly and gladly we seek for it today. Aware we hold the key within our hands, accepting heaven's answer to the hell we made, but where we would remain no more. Morning and evening do we gladly give a quarter of an hour to the search in which the end of hell is guaranteed. Begin in hopefulness, for we have reached the turning point at which the road becomes far easier, and now the way is short that yet we travel. We are close indeed to the appointed ending of the dream. Sink into happiness as you begin these practice periods, for they hold out the sure rewards of questions answered, and that your acceptance of the answer brings. Today it will be given you to feel the peace forgiveness offers, and the joy the lifting of the veil holds out to you. Before the light will you receive today, the world will fade until it disappears, and you will see another world arise you have no words to picture. Now we walk directly into light, and we will receive the gifts which have been held in store for us since time began, kept waiting for today. Forgiveness offers everything you want. Today all things you want are given you. Let not your gifts recede throughout the day as you turn again to meet a world of shifting changes and bleak appearances. Retain your gifts in clear awareness as you see the changeless in the heart of change, the light of truth behind appearances. Be tempted not to let your gifts slip by and drift into forgetfulness, but hold them firmly in your mind by your attempts to think of them at least a minute as each quarter of an hour passes by. Remind yourself how precious are these gifts with this reminder, which has power to hold your gifts in your awareness throughout the day. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Today I have accepted this as true. Today I have received the gifts of God. So forgiveness offers everything I want. Today I have accepted this as true. Today I have received the gifts of God. Forgiveness offers everything I want. So here we go, and we will be quiet for a moment, say, and sink deep into our happiness as we begin these practice periods. So we will do them for, say, 5 minutes or so, just to allow ourselves that to come to us. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Today I have accepted this as true. Today I have received the gifts of God. Okay. Wow. So forgiveness offers everything I want. And so keep that in mind during the day. It says here like every 15 minutes of an hour, by the passing of a quarter of an hour. Give a quarter of an hour to the search in which the end of hell is guaranteed. Okay, so that was our beginning lesson, which is really complete and incredible. So this has to do with that too, of course. This is not directly telling you what forgiveness is, but I came across this today, preparing for the classes, and then seeing like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. So I would love to share that with you. That's why I bring it up. And this is from chapter 26D, section D, on page 239 of the Urtext Manuscripts. And the blue book, it's like the chapter with the Borderland. The Borderland. Okay, I gotta keep my glasses on. Here it is, like this the same word that's being used, and that's the word complexity. The Borderland. Complexity is not of God. How could it be? When all he knows is one. He knows of one creation. He knows of one reality, one truth, but one Son. Nothing conflicts with oneness. How then could there be complexity in him? What is there to decide? For it is conflict that makes choice complex. The truth is simple. It is one, without opposite. And how could strife enter into its simple presence and bring complexity where oneness is? The truth makes no decisions, for there is nothing to decide between. And only if there were, could choosing be a necessary step in advancing towards oneness. What is everything leaves room for nothing else. See, that's also so simple and so great and so complete, and like, yes, this is that. It's whole. It's whole. So this is so to the contrary in which you think as a human being. Like, you never think in terms of wholeness, like completedness, that you don't have to make a decision. It's like, it seems like every day you make so many decisions for yourself. You choose to do this, eat that, and clothe this, and drive there, or who knows what you decide. See, and then to come to this is like the simplicity is, in truth, there's nothing to decide. It's like, if all is one, there's nothing outside of that, so there's nothing to choose between. We always say, coming from our human perspective, we always have to make a decision between this and that. See, in oneness that dissolves literally into one, there's no opposite to it. There's no this and that. Like, no, as long as you see this and that, you're basically, in the middle of an illusion. And see, this is the same when you encounter trouble. Like, we've been looking at the question, like, how can this problem be solved? Well, by recognizing it for what it is, was the answer. Like, by recognizing it for what it is and seeing that it has already been solved. So coming from an idea of oneness, you see that when all is one, there is nothing to decide between, because there are no opposites. And see, we love opposites as human beings. You love opposites, whether it's a painting, a photograph, or partners, or who knows what. Like, you like opposites. You like that's where this is all based on. Like, your whole human experience is based on differences and extreme. It's like polarities. It's unbelievable. So we're so accustomed to that in our thinking and in our doing and in our choosing, that you don't want that, but you want this, and you go on and on and on. See, but the thing is that when all this settles down for a moment, you actually know the answer. You know what is the best for you. That's literally given to you. But first you will have to become still in order to receive that. So that's always the practice, isn't it? So no matter how complex the situation might look, it will not become complex. So that's why I say a lot, like, you actually already know what comes out of this, or you actually know where to go to, or whether to do this or not. You actually know this already. Like, because it is like, it will naturally flow out of you. It will take away your possibility of choice. It's like, no, if you step out of the picture for a moment, like if you back out of it for a moment and just let the light come forth in you, you actually know what to do. And see, that is what is happening then when you do that. So that's good to take a look at, because see, you know the answer probably too already, because this is what is occurring. Like, when are you able to see things for what they are? When are you able to let the voice speak to you? And when are you able to just move, being moved by spirit, in order to continue where you find yourself, like to not have to make a decision? So it comes to you by your patience. That's one thing, because you come up with enough alternatives that you already get into action. Now it is like, no, that is not going to be the solution, and I don't want to do that anymore. So when is the time that you can actually let this answer come to you? See, and it cannot happen any other time than this moment. And that is that is always where it will bring you back to. So that's why, yeah, it's so good to keep that in mind and to practice literally the presence, because that's where the answer will be. That's where the continuance of oneness is. Like, that's where it is given to you to align with it. That's not going to happen tomorrow. That's not going to happen yesterday. No, continuously it is given to you in the moment that you need it, in the moment that it suddenly is there. Like when it can be used, it will present itself just naturally. And that not necessarily has to be like a concrete form, but certainly it has to do with an impulse that is confirming your connectedness with everything. So that you see like, oh my God, I can't believe it. That's a real gift to me. So this is how you can experience every moment. So, say I go a bit quick maybe, but so we just did the lesson, like forgiveness offers everything I want. So what is that then? How is that then related to this? Well, you could say like forgiveness is really forgetting, in the sense that you forget what you wanted. You leave that behind. You let your thoughts about it go. You don't put your, say, you don't put any trust, literally, or you don't put any value in what you are thinking, but you just stop for a moment and allow yourself to enter into this present moment and become completely, say, present. So that's really what forgiveness actually is, and that is, you can apply this in every situation. There's no exception to it, because literally it brings you just back to this moment. So coming from a perspective of wholeness, seeing that everything is one, it makes total sense, doesn't it? But then the daily practice, we forget about this because we love polarities, we love the conflict, or we love, it's like you might as well admit it, like you want some tension in your life. You think it's not very exciting to be completely in stillness, having the decisions being made for you, or like that puts you in a whole different place as an idea about yourself. And of course that is not true. And you actually know that too. So it is like the practice then is seeing, in fact, entering into the present moment is literally like giving birth to yourself, giving birth to that moment by moment, by moment, by moment, not knowing what the next step will be, not, say, pushing it in a certain direction, but becoming completely open to receive what is being given. See, and that in itself looks like, all right, that's not so difficult. And it is not so difficult, but it's like it does something with you. And that is, you are in an active state of forgiveness, in fact. You let go of your ideas about it. You let go of what you think should happen. You let go of your expectations. Just like we practice in the beginning of this session. Continuously letting go. So that gives a lot of space in your mind, but also like a real sense of, say, limitlessness. Like there's no limit to any of it anymore. So that opens up feelings in you, and that, especially in the beginning when you enter into this, you might see as fear, or go moving through something, or like really feeling like almost like a confusion, like I have no idea if this is the right thing. But seeing that once you, say, start to trust it, and once you keep opening up for it, seeing that it actually has a lot of impact in how you perceive yourself and how you perceive the situations that you're in. See, everything becomes different because you can actually start to look at the world as just as a reflection, more as than as a material form. So everything starts to look like a matrix, you know. It's like neon in the matrix. So that is a different feeling. So that also can give you a feeling of loneliness, because it's literally you're alone in that. You're perceiving this reflection, but you also see the meaninglessness of it. And then it's like, okay, what is left then? It's like, okay, there's my experience in my connectedness with everything that is. If I take time to go in there, yes, I do experience happiness. And when I think that there's something out there that might be attractive to me, I feel that I'm losing myself into it, and that doesn't feel good either. So that's why I have my practice and come back to myself again. So this is what is happening in your awakening. It's like what's here being said as the borderland. It's like it is not that there are two worlds, but there's a value system, and you're the one determining what you value. So that looks like, if I materialize, like I literally materialize my perception, I thinking that it is real for a moment, I experience the pain and the fear that is connected to it. Whether that's my financial situation, whether it's my physical circumstances, whether it's, you name it. As soon as you start to materialize something, to make something like solid, then also immediately there's fear connected to it. And you feel that, and you know that there's something else, that you not necessarily have to dive into that. So basically the value system of your mind will always say immediately connect fear to it, because it's literally an extension of fear, what you're doing. So coming back and coming to yourself, feeling the connectedness, feeling the happiness of stillness and of getting out of the way, it seems like it will be shown. It will be shown how to spend your day. It will be shown how to respond to any of it. It cannot be my concern, because then my mind is already occupied. I don't want to occupy it. So my value is going to be given to me by me stepping back out of the situation. So that's really like the practice of the borderland, but also like the practice of forgiveness then. Forgiveness is forgiving yourself, having that value system, and returning back to letting it go, letting your value system go. And seeing with that, in fact, the manifestation or the solidity of your appearances, see them disappear too. So suddenly it becomes really like a reflection again. And it becomes like just an idea that has not much appeal to you anymore. So this is basically a description of how you can perceive your new world. How you can, say, let go of the old world value system and enter into one that is given to you on a moment-by-moment basis from a whole different perspective. And literally whole different. It is a whole perspective too. There's no exception to that. Okay, so I'm going to read another paragraph, because I'm curious what is in it now. I haven't read that one. I read only the first. Yet is this magnitude beyond scope of this curriculum. So this magnitude beyond the scope of this curriculum. Nor is it necessary we dwell on anything that cannot be immediately grasped. Okay, so that's good to hear. There's a borderland of thought that stands between the world and heaven, It is not a place, and when you reach it, apart from time. Here is the meeting place where thoughts are brought together, where conflicting values meet, and all illusions are laid down beside the truth, where they are judged to be untrue. This borderland is just beyond the gate of heaven. Here is every thought made pure and wholly simple. Here is sin denied and everything that is received instead. This is the journey's end we have referred to as the real world. And yet there is a contradiction here in that the words imply limited reality, a partial truth, a segment of the universe made true. This is because knowledge makes no attack upon perception. They are brought together, and only one continues past the gate where oneness is. Salvation is a borderland, where space and time and choice have meaning still, and yet it can be seen that they are temporary, out of place, and every choice has been made already. Okay, so now you have the whole story, so to speak. And it's immediately also the journey's end. So you come there, like, see, there's still a possibility to walk around, so to speak, with values. You can still take your values of the world, things that you really value. You can take those still with you, but they will be put next to truth. But see, all this is occurring always in your pace. It is not that you have to get this now, or that you have to put tremendous effort in order to attain this. No, not at all. So it's always very gentle. It's like very loving way of coming to this, so to speak. So in the way that I shared it in the beginning with the idea of entering into the present moment, if that is something that you cannot enter into right now, that you don't feel that is happening, see, that is all right too. It is not that there's no must in it. It is not that you're lost and if you don't feel that or don't experience that way. So see, that is really the loveliness that is continuous on this path. There's no strain in it, there's no strain in it, and that's what's so beautiful. Like, this is all by your acceptance, and it goes in your pace, and it's like an active path. Yes, absolutely, but at the same time it is taking your time for it. No pushing, no strain, no stress, no, it's on basis of happy learning, When you're ready to learn this lesson, you will just automatically learn it. And that's great to read that. So what was the second paragraph saying? Like, oh yeah, that was what I meant with the there's the magnitude beyond the scope of this curriculum. So the magnitude is then advancing toward the oneness and entering into oneness. So that's not even necessary for this curriculum. It's like, no, this is just a place where we are becoming aware of what we are thinking, and we say practice with the idea of, okay, I gave this so much meaning, but it hurt so bad. I might as well take another look at it and let it be changed for me. More on a healing basis than anything else. It's really what the Course in Miracles is about. It's like the undoing of fear. So the undoing of a value system that you held as a human being, letting that go, seeing that you don't need that value system in order to be happy. You might as well actively start to let go in order to experience happiness. So that is what is being offered here. So I love this. This is a great. So we can continue on this, say also on Thursday, in the next class. But this is lovely material to work with, because it brings you into an acceptance also of where you find yourself in your spiritual path. Like, you're exactly in the right place. There's no need for you to do it quicker, to do it better, to do it who knows what. No. Like, no, that will come too. Like, your willingness is growing, or you evaluate, you look at your value system, and you bump your head a couple of times. So that is then suddenly you have an opportunity basically for healing, and seeing that you didn't need that to value that the way you did before. Okay, so that's really lovely. Let me see. I'm probably going to end with a prayer lesson. And because time is always flying. So let's read today's lesson as a prayer lesson. Okay, so bear with me, please. This is the day. This is a day of stillness and of peace. See, this is where we're pointing at. This is continuously where we end up in practicing the Course in Miracles. This is a day of stillness and of peace. Christ's vision looks through me today. His sight shows me all things forgiven and at peace, and offers this same vision to the world. And I accept this vision in its name, both for myself and for the world as well. What loveliness we look upon today. What holiness we see surrounding us. And it is given us to recognize it is a holiness in which we share. It is the holiness of God Himself. This day my mind is quiet to receive the thoughts you offer me, and I accept what comes from you instead of from myself. I do not know the way to you, but you are wholly certain. Father, lead your Son along the quiet path that ends in you. Here it is. Let my forgiveness be complete, and let the memory of you return to me. This day my mind is quiet to receive the thoughts you offer me, and I accept what comes from you instead of from myself. I do not know the way to you, but you are wholly certain. Father, lead your son, along the quiet path that ends in you. Let my forgiveness be complete, and let the memory of you return to me. This is a day of stillness and of peace. So this is your, say, input for today. These words were given you. Today. These words were given you today to let them stay with you for a day. You know, to be inspired by it, to stop for a moment and remember this again. It's like, oh my God, all the things that are given me. However can I accept all of this? Like, how can I get to the essence of it and feel it all through myself? This is what I want to happen today. And I want to take time to do so and allow this to inspire me and affect me. And wow, that's so great. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here, for being present in class or watching this on YouTube or wherever. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you maybe Thursday or whenever we meet. Thank you so much.